The president's fault that you aren't where you're supposed to be. That's on you. You're giving yourself an out, giving yourself an excuse not to do the thing you know that you need to do. So forget playing the blame game. No matter what, don't fall for it. Do not play the blame game. Don't play it. It's rigged. Statistics and facts can be true and misleading at the same time. Dig deeper. Look, it's actually pretty simple. Either you plan the day or the day plans you. You gotta understand what you feel versus what's real. It's real simple. Make a commitment, make a promise, and then keep it. Pick the pain of speaking your mind or the pain of staying silent when you know you shouldn't. I got news for you. It's not gonna get any easier. Nobody said opportunities were gonna be easy, and nobody said they were gonna be right in front of your face, and nobody said that it's fair. You know, it's a positive message sometimes when somebody looks at you and says, you're nowhere near where you should be. Your expectations should never be higher than your work ethic. You gotta ask yourself, are you willing to work your ass off for a maybe? Because that's as good as you're gonna get. There are no sure things. One yes must be protected over time by 1,000 no's. The first step towards success is to refuse to be captive in the environment you find yourself in. Patience without action is laziness. If you don't pay attention, it's gonna cost you down the line. You gotta understand the difference between the options presented to you and the options available to you. It's detrimental to focus on something you can't change. Make that adjustment and you should see some more success in your life. Get to work. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are live. Welcome Facebook, welcome YouTube, welcome Instagram, and welcome LinkedIn. So could be from all different spaces. Let me give you the preface and let's just jump right in. I'm a speaker. I'm a keynote speaker. I've spoken all over the world and delivered keynotes in all sorts of different scenarios and circumstances. I was with a client recently and kind of just messing around here, talking about different things, and realized that just like some of the freestyle rappers will do something where they say, just kind of give me a topic, give me a word, and I'll do a freestyle rap. I can do the same thing, except it's not a freestyle rap. It's a talk. So I'm going to do about a 3, maybe 5 minute motivational talk on the spot. No prep, no anything. I'm going to take a topic or a comment, something, some sort of inspiration, topic, and then we're just going to go. And that's how this is going to work. So I'm going to take a look at the comments here, and Ethan will chime in if there's something good from Instagram, but I'm going to take a look at the comments here, and then I'm going to go. All right, here we go. Cool. There we go. All right, we got something. Oh, okay, just a topic. Entrepreneurship and not giving up. Entrepreneurship, not giving up. I can work with that. Let's do it. When I was 7 years old, I woke up one day and my stomach was in a lot of pain. Not a normal stomach ache. Something was wrong. My dad went to work and sent us off to school. My brother and I, we used to walk together to school, and we'd have this football. We'd throw the football back and forth and play catch on the way. That was kind of our normal thing. Well, this day he threw me the ball, and I kind of winced and I threw it back to him. But when he threw it to me again for the second time, I didn't even try to catch the ball. I was in so much pain at that moment, I couldn't even catch the ball. He runs up to me and says, "What's wrong?" I told him about my stomach. He said, "Is it that bad?" I said, "It is." He said, "All right, turn around. We're going back home and we're going to call Dad." Now, I was kind of freaking out at this moment because in our whole entire life, there's been 3 days that my father has missed work, and this is one of those days. My brother calls my dad and tells him that something is really wrong with John. Dad comes home and immediately takes me to the doctor's office. So here we are at the doctor's office and doing these tests, and the doctor comes in and says, "Mr. Guyton, your son has a stomach bug. Go ahead and get him some fluids. We'll work it out. No problem. It'll work itself out in a few days. And he's good." My dad said, "No." The doctor said, "What do you mean no?" He
He said, "You're wrong." He said, "Sir, I know you might be scared." He says, "I'm not scared. I understand something's wrong with my son. You know science, but I know my child. Something is wrong. You got to run another test." He said, "There's no more tests to run." I said what I said. So we left. When Dad got home, he grabbed a pile of towels and started to line our blue pickup truck with towels. He sent my brother off to school and he said, "Get in the car." I said, "Dad, where we're going?" He said, "We're going to the emergency room." So we head over to the first emergency room and we're waiting there and waiting and waiting. If you've ever been to an emergency room, this is par for the course. Room full of people. We're waiting and waiting. And my dad grows impatient, goes up to the front window and says, "Listen, I need your help." They go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, something's wrong with my son. I need you to look at him." They said, "Sir, we'll get to him in time. It's going to be a while, though." He said, "We don't have a while. I need you to help him now." They said, "Well, sir, it's a stomach thing. Maybe take him home." My dad said, "I'm not going to take him home. You need to do something now." They said, "Sir, please calm down." He says, "I'm not going to calm down." He says, "If you don't calm down, we're going to have to call security." So we left. I'm in the truck with my dad in the parking lot. And I said, "We going home?" He says, "No, we're going to another hospital." So we drive to a second emergency room. And it starts just like the first. We're waiting. He grows impatient. He goes to the window. He says, "Hey, I need your help. Something's wrong." I went to the doctor. The doctor said it was a stomach flu. I went to the emergency room and the emergency room wouldn't see him in time. And I came here because I need you guys to help. They said, "Sir, maybe take him home. He'll be more comfortable." He said, "Stop telling me to take him home. He can't get the help there. I need you to help him. Something's wrong." And they said, "Sir, you need to calm down." He says, "I'm not going to calm down." They said, "If you don't calm down, we're going to have to call security." So we leave. Now at this point, my dad's in the truck and I look at him and his eyes are bloodshot red. He's just staring straight forward. I said, "Dad, are we going home?" And he paused for a moment and he said, "No, we're going to another hospital." So we drove to a third emergency room. And it started off just like the first two. My dad went up to the window. He says, "I need your help. I've been to a doctor's office already. I've been to 2 other emergency rooms, and they all keep saying the same thing. I need somebody to listen to me. Something's wrong with my son. It's not just a stomach ache. If you just check him out, something's going on." They said, "Sir, we understand how you feel. You're going to maybe take him home." He says, "Please do not tell me to take him home. I'm not doing that." They said, "Sir, you need to calm down." He says, "I'm not going to calm down. I'll calm down when you help my son." They said, "If you don't calm down, we're going to have to call security." But this time, he stood there like a statue and he said, "Call him." I was like, oh no. Now we're in a situation where security is on their way. My dad's standing there, don't know what's going to happen. And the doctor happens to come into the room and he's looking at my dad. He's looking at me, looking at the situation. He comes and he kneels down, does some sort of master Shifu kind of situation. And he goes, "What's your dad's name?" I told him, "Roger." He says, "Roger, you with me, you. Now, I was on a gurney in an emergency surgery in a matter of moments. You see, what happened was my appendix, earlier that day, my appendix had burst and I was slowly being poisoned to death. If my brother didn't make the decision he made, I wouldn't be here. If my dad had just listened to the doctor and not followed his gut, I wouldn't be here. If he would have turned us home after the first emergency room, I wouldn't be here. If he got discouraged after the second emergency room, I wouldn't be here. If he didn't have the gumption, if he didn't have the drive, the will to say, you know what, I'm gonna go to a third emergency room. If he didn't do that, I wouldn't be here." Now, my message to you is if you're an entrepreneur and you've been doing this thing for years and you're feeling like it's time to quit, or maybe you want to hang things up and do something else, just understand, you got to keep going. Now's not the time to quit. Now's the time to do it again and again. You're learning every time something doesn't go your way. You're learning what doesn't work and you're making adjustments. Keep making those adjustments. Keep doing those things again, because you will make it as long as you continue to make progress. Be like my brother or my father. Don't give up. You ever heard of Angry Birds? I know you've heard of Angry Birds. Everybody's heard of Angry Birds. But do you know the backstory? Do you know that that was their 52nd app? 52 times. They failed over and over and over and over again until Angry Birds. That was number 52. You ever heard of WD-40? I know you've heard of WD-40. Everybody's heard of WD-40, but do you know the backstory? Do you know that that was the 40th concoction? That was the 40th time he had to tell his wife, this is the one. It's the 40th time. He mixed it up and he said, you know what, this is going to work. And it finally did. You see, you don't know when the next time is going to be. I can't tell you that it's going to be the 5th time or the 10th time or the 52nd time. That's up to you. My name is John Guyton, and I hope that was helpful for you. I'll see you on Monday for another Motivation on Demand. We're out.